engaging celebrity interviews, exciting updates from Christian filmmakers, movie reviews so you can choose your movies wisely, and so much more here on Faith on Film with Isaac Hernandez and Holly McClure.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Faith on Film. Holly, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great today. Thank you. I'm excited to talk about movies that we're going to see. There's something coming out called The Blue Angels and a family film called If we're going to talk about. But we also have an interview, don't we, Isaac?
Yes, we do. And interestingly enough, you just talked about it. You said it was a family movie that you're going to be talking about. The movie that we're going to go to first, or we have a guest for, which is the guy's name is Matthew McCaulley, and he's the writer, director, producer of UNDEFILED. Now, this is not really a family movie, but it is a Christian movie, which you kind of say, well, how can a Christian movie not be family? Well, it deals with a more mature subject, and that would be pornography and sex trafficking. So, no, it's not a movie you would watch with your kiddos, but it's probably a movie that you really should see. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at the trailer first, but let me introduce our guest. His name again is Matthew McCaulley. He was nominated for Best Director at the feature for the 2024 ICFF, or International Christian Film Festival in Orlando. Now, the movie UNDEFILED was also nominated for Best Picture, Best Cinematography, Best Musical Score, and Most Inspirational. So what we're going to do is take a quick look at the trailer, and then we'll come back with Matthew McCaulley.
How old are you? Who is this guy? He knows what you saw last night, and he wants you to stay quiet.
They raped me, Mitch. And then they sell it to porn websites.
Same guy that met with the girl. He's got connections.
Him.
What is it you said you always wanted, huh? One step away from the show. It's a real deal.
Congratulations. I heard on the AAA coaching job. They're lucky to have you.
I need help.
One time something good happens to me, this is how you act.
I'm trying to figure out a way to feed our children.
I'm good at solving all kinds of problems.
Do what you want, Jennings. You take her off the street, another one will be right behind her.
How can I find the girl? Be careful about what decision you make. You didn't see the way that girl looked at me.
Seriously, old man. You're so full of crap, I can smell it on you, Jennings.
I'm a nobody. I'm nobody, Zero. There are some more important things that I need to focus on. I got you.
Matthew, welcome to Faith on Film.
Welcome, Matthew.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You bet. So we just looked at the trailer to the movie, but what I'd like for you to do is maybe just give us a broader picture of what this movie is all about.
Absolutely, yeah. The film really has been described as fictional but very real, and I really like that explanation. I believe that that's what you take away from the film, and it's really about a ball player, minor league ball player, who had a very troubled past, very difficult father, and as a result, he's looking for meaning and identity in life. Wants to be important in life. Of course, because of that, and he's seeking everything except for God. In this case, pornography is one of his big things. And his life ends up spiraling circling drain. His family issues abound. And so he's presented with, by accident, this trafficked girl who he has to just make a decision, try to help her or keep pursuing his own career and what might make him important. And so the way that he gets to those choices is very extraordinary and makes you think about your own life.
How did you come upon casting this? How did you choose who was going to play these characters? Like, Did you have someone in mind, or tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, casting is one of those things that is both a lot of fun and extremely terrifying all at the same time. There was a lot of prayer that went into that. And, casting brought us people like Stephanie Peterson and Michael J. Patterson, Bradford Haynes, Stelio Savante, just people that are just amazingly talented, love the Lord, and put a lot of work into these roles to make sure that they were not just flat, but they were very, very realistic characters. And so casting went through a lot of phases and, just general ways you go about it. But in the end, it was just a lot of prayer and definitely God.
Because, it's not a lighthearted story. So you're getting into deep issues. So that's what I'm saying. It requires someone that has the gravitas that can get that message across believably. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. Well, when we're writing it, one of the main things that that we wanted was these characters have to be real to life, have to be based on all of our research with psychologists, interviews, and so forth. We want these people to feel real. That's what we want people to take away from it. Is like I connected with that part of that character, and so very, very important. And, very difficult. I had several actors and actresses that actually turned the role down because they said, I just don't think I can adjust it.
Now, this movie was technically produced. Is this a film department of a church?
Very interesting question. It was originally Light of Life Films in 2015 started as a ministry of a church. Mm-hmm. And has since grown to its own company. Right. However, the church still owns the company, which is very odd. It kind of made the lawyer's head spin, I think. But we did that for a reason, just for accountability. We wanted to make sure the message out was always had an accountability layer to it.
Now, did you get any pushback? Because this is, most Christian movies are very nice, feel-good movies, and this was not necessarily that. Did you get any pushback from people saying, wait a minute, why are you making a movie about pornography and child trafficking or sex trafficking?
Yeah. Yes, plenty of pushback, Isaac. It's just, we had people in the beginning, phases in the development stage of the film that were, one person I remember very specifically told me, don't touch that with a 10-foot pole. You will ruin any chance you ever have of making another movie. But that was probably the most pushback we got were from people that said it's just porn. It's not an issue. It's not important. So
really, wow.
Yeah, the word just. Wow. Yeah. Wow. And believe it or not, I had Christians that told me that it's just porn. Well, it's not hurting anybody. What's the problem?
And they call themselves Christians.
Yeah. It's so. I be honest with you, all of that together really, it actually made us want to make the movie. It spurred us on. I see all this kind of just that people don't understand. It's not just porn. It's hurting a lot of people, including the people watching it mostly. But then it also has links to sex trafficking and then the statistics.
Yeah, sex trafficking and that go hand in hand. Are you kidding?
Hand in hand. Yeah, hand in hand. One of the ladies who had been trafficked that we interviewed in our 8-part series with Pure Desire Ministries, she was asked, how did your trafficking experience, how was that changed because of porn? What part did porn play in it, in other words? And she said that you can't separate the two. She said, I was trained when I was being trafficked, they trained me with porn. And then the guys that bought me were asking to do things based on what they saw. And so they're inseparable.
Of course. That really surprises me that you said about Christians saying it's not that big a deal. Wow.
Yeah. Right.
And that's where we're at in the church today. Talk about how you came up with the message of the title Undefiled. What does undefiled mean?
Undefiled is very simply what it sounds like. To be defiled, as the Bible talks about, is chasing the wrong things, seeking the world instead of Jesus, instead of holiness. And undefiled is to be the complete opposite. It is to be seeking Christ, seek first the kingdom of God.
And is there a ministry associated with it, with the movie? I mean, is there, it's one thing to go in and see a movie about a subject or topic like this, but then what do you do with it when you go out? Are you directing people to ministries to help with pornography or help with those things?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, that was one of our goals, and we really didn't want to do this without having someplace to leave people when they one of our friends that had read the script early on, who had come out of a pornography addiction, actually said, this movie's going to leave people's heads spinning. And that was just a script. He hadn't seen a movie yet. He said, it's going to leave people's heads spinning. You've got to give them some place to go. You can't just leave them hanging. And so we did. We partnered with Pure Desire Ministries and another ministry called Boulder Recovery, which is part of the Begin Again. And together, they offer a host of resources. We produced an 8-part video series with Pure Desire. That is I would say, the first stopping place after you see a movie. The movie kind of being like that initial, wide part of the funnel, and then livingundefiled.com, where you can find those resources being the next step.
Now, how can people watch this movie? Is it out already?
Yes, absolutely. It is on Apple TV, Tubi, which you can watch for free with ads, and it's also on Amazon.
One last question, and I don't think it's giving anything away, but it's a heavy topic and a heavy movie. Yes. Is there a happy ending?
Let's see. Yeah, no, that's actually a really good question. I would say that we leave people with hope and a place to go, but we don't inflate the truth with, the ending could possibly be real. I think you walk away thinking, yeah, that's real, but I feel good because I feel like there's a place for it.
Okay, it gives some hope.
Oh.
Yes, definitely.
Good. Well, thank you, Matthew, for getting on our show here and sharing a little bit about your movie Undefiled. Again, where can people watch it? Apple TV, Tubi?
Apple TV, Tubi, and Amazon Prime.
Fantastic.
Thanks.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
We'll be right back after this.
Hello, my name is Alejandro Monteverde. I'm the writer and director of Sound of Freedom, and you're watching Faith on Film.
Isaac, we were talking before the interview about it being for adults, but, I really think that mature teens could see this movie too, because the Sound of Freedom, we talked about child trafficking. It's been mentioned in a couple of movies, and this is a topic that's out there. It's relevant for today, and I think it's just as relevant for mature teens to be aware of it, because they're the ones being kidnapped as well and sold into sex trafficking and look at pornography, on their web. So I think really mature teens is a good one for parents. It's a good teaching film for parents.
I agree, because in reality, I mean, obviously I'm pretty old, and so in my time it seemed like it took longer before we started to really learn about sexual things and pornography and all that. But it seems like now children are actually being bombarded with near pornographic images and videos and all that. So while I'm not saying that little kiddie should watch this movie, but certainly you're right. Maybe a preteen or teenagers on.
Yeah, mature teens. Let the parents see the movie, but I definitely think since it's available for them to see it, and then they can rewatch it with kids. But I think it'd be good for teens to see. Absolutely. Okay. But there's some fun ones we can talk about.
Yes. Well, we alluded to that in the open, didn't we? Something that is for the entire family.
The Blue Angels. The Blue Angels, Isaac, I can remember with my kids going to see the Blue Angels at El Toro Air Force Base and at Huntington Beach when they would do the flyover on 4th of July. I mean, the Blue Angels were part of California, and you kind of thought, ooh, they're just for California. And then you realize, no, they're for the whole United States, the whole world. But I didn't know as much about them to this movie. Wow.
You know, I also saw the Blue Angels when I was pretty young, actually. I think maybe it was even preteen. And it was just so exciting. The show was amazing. Sometimes a little scary because, you know, they come pretty near you and they're flying extremely fast towards each other, just all sorts of things. So it was a little scary sometimes, but just wonderful to see. But to see this movie, which I did get to preview the movie as well, it gave me a whole new appreciation for the Blue Angels.
A whole new appreciation. You know, this movie really is, it's an adrenaline rush. You're in there watching it, and especially if you go to watch it on IMAX, you're going to love it. But I mean, it's coming out on Prime Video, but I'm just saying, you know, if you have surround sound or whatever,
yeah,
it's the adrenaline rush of the planes and what they're doing, and you're thinking, oh, it's just the formation. There's like, you know, 8 or 6 or 8 or the, well, no, I didn't realize it's a whole team of men and women that are responsible for this. So this really gives you, this movie, The Blue Angels, gives you a behind-the-scene look at the camaraderie, the teamwork, the perseverance, what it takes. And these were not people like, oh, I kind of know how to fly, I want to fly. I mean, these are people that are educated and go to amazing training, and they have to go through certain criteria to even get to be on the team or qualify. It was, and then there's those shots from on the plane where you can see how close they're coming, like 18 inches and 12 inches. They're giving the circumference, and I'm like, that's nerve-wracking. You know,
I agree. I live in a place where the streets are kind of narrow, and when there's 2 cars, you know, I'm going one way, they're coming the other way, I totally slow down because it just, I don't even want to get near the thing, you know. So, yeah, to do it at whatever 100 miles an hour they're going, yeah, that's definitely nerve-wracking.
In your jet, no less. You know what I mean? It's not even on the street. It's in your, I mean, like, it was amazing. You know, there was some interesting things. Again, you're going to learn about the teams. You're going to learn about the personal life. You kind of follow through and walk through the people as they get to be on and get considered and then qualified, and then they graduate into the Blue Angels. And so it's exciting to see the journey of several of the pilots and to see the women that are involved. Like I said, I always thought it was for men or about men. And now there are women that are in the team, on the team. So I really feel like this is just don't think, oh, I've seen the Blue Angels, you know, I'm not going to learn anything new. No, you do learn something new, and you really are exhilarated going through this.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's take a look at the trailer. That way people kind of have a better understanding of what we're talking about.
Let's do.
First time you take off, you got to push the I believe button.
I fell in love with aviation at 4 years old. My dad took me to an air show, and I got to watch the Blue Angels fly for the very first time. This year, we're bringing 5 new people into this team.
Something I never thought was actually going to happen.
It's 1 in a million.
We only have 3 months to get to a point where we can take it on the road.
It can be frustrating at times. The challenge is to get the newbies up to speed, and that can be scary. When you're flying 12 inches apart, everybody's lives are in each other's hands.
It's an eye-opener for how inherently dangerous this job is.
Ready, roll, hat.
Every once in a while, the jets just kind of freeze, and the world around you seems to spin.
To make 6 jets fly as one, that's the Blue Angel magic. I just pinched myself. We get a chance to be part of it.
With all these things that I've done.
Watching that makes me want to, first of all, go see them live again wherever they're going to be performing. But even though I saw the video, the movie on my TV, which is a pretty big TV, but I think I really would have loved to have gone to see it on IMAX. And if it, I know it's playing now on IMAX but it's going to come on Prime Video after, right?
Right. It's on IMAX for a short run. And for those of you watching the show later, after May 23rd, it'll be on Prime Video. So for always, you can watch it. And if you've got a great sound system, crank it up because it definitely is going to be flight experience. You feel like you're in the plane next to them. You feel like you're flying up there. We can't express it. It says these are one of the most iconic aerial demonstrations in the world. And they've had a rich history for decades and decades. And so definitely, folks, support it. Go see the Blue Angels. We really appreciate you tuning in and going to see it. And I think you're going to not be disappointed. And another movie that's out there, let's show the trailer first so people can see what we're talking about. It's called If, not It, but If, Imaginary Friends. And it's a movie that's out right now. Let's take a look.
What if I told you imaginary friends are real? When their kids grow up, they're forgotten.
Are any of them scary?
Worse. Desperate.
Question, why did these kids forget about us in the first place?
Last week, I just started falling apart. Oh.
You're sucking the oxygen out of the room.
Honestly, Doc, if this is how it's going to be, I'm just going to wheel myself back and plug in.
We've started a matchmaking agency to help IFs find new kids.
Or we just disappear.
Blue. Happy place, happy place.
Oh, coffee and croissants. Coffee and croissants.
I can help you.
How?
Because I'm a kid.
You are the chosen one. Nope. Let's not give her a complex.
Good luck, short stack.
It's all up to you.
No pressure.
Cock and dagger!
Hope this works.
All right, let's find these IFs some kids.
Chief!
What kind of a kid creates an invisible IF?
I can find anyone. Anywhere.
You got him enough.
Thanks for doing this.
Don't look him in the eye.
Which one?
Yeah, that's gonna grow right back.
Am I disappearing? Oh, all right, I'm not ready for this. I need to throw up, or I need a snack. It's one of the two.
Gross.
We have to help them.
Yes, we do.
I'm not gonna ask you again. Put some pants on. You're freaking everyone out. How'd it go? Oh my God.
So does this make us partners?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, y'all. Keith!
And Mom said too much candy isn't good for your tummy, but I said, oh my God.
Wow, my eyes can taste it.
I'm so sorry.
You don't taste that in your eyeballs?
When you first asked me to download the trailer to If, I could have sworn I heard you say It. So I was looking up It, and I'm like, that's a horror movie. We're going to talk about a horror movie, but then you corrected and said, no, it's
As
If.
far from a child's movie as you want to be, it is definitely not for family or kids. Oh my gosh, I was laughing so hard when you said it. I'm like, no. If, oh, that's too funny. Yeah, and that's why I'm like, If, not It, but If for Imaginary Friends. As you can see, folks, it is a fun, sweet, lighthearted film. Okay, now, I went thinking it was more of a kiddie movie, like, oh, this is going to be about the imaginary friends, and it is. But what I didn't realize is at the very beginning, there's a montage. Remember the movie Up with the old couple and the balloons and the house and the floats in the air? And at the beginning, they show the couple meeting early, going through dating, and then her passing. Like in 20 minutes, there's just this beautiful music. Well, it's kind of that, not as long, but that in this film, where it shows the little girl and her parents, and it's not, it's live, it's not animated. And with the father, the mother, John Krasinski, who wrote and directed this movie, by the way, and then the mother, and they're having fun and enjoying life and doing fun things and going to the amusement park and picnics and la la la. And then it shows the mom wearing a headband and a scarf and being in a hospital. And then it shows the little girl visiting, and then it shows them visiting her. And then it shows, I think, as I remember, a gravesite or something. It doesn't show a death, or there's no words. It's just you understand she lost her mother. So the movie picks up then when she's 12 years old. It's been a few years later, a little bit of time. And her dad, played by John Krasinski, has to go into the hospital. So it shows her fear of her dad going in the hospital in almost the same room, the same hospital, and her reliving this situation. So it shows her trying to escape it. And as she does, she meets Cal, Ryan Reynolds, and he said, and she sees an imaginary friend, and she finds out that they're in her building. And then she finds out that there is a retirement home for IFs, and that's imaginary friends where the people have grown up and they've left them. So they no longer have anyone that believes in them. So she thinks her job then, because she sees another sick child in the hospital, B's job then is to go find children to attach these imaginary friends. In the process of doing it, she finds out that some of the adults who forgot these imaginary friends need to be reconnected for reasons of their own. So it really enmeshes a lot of adult themes in it, as well as it being for children. And it's about finding that part in you that, kind of that long lost part that love to believe and hope. And it's got all the characters, both animated and live. All of them are good. All of them are good influences. No character's evil. No character's bad. So parents can feel safe with that. The only thing is a little bit of language. It's PG. And in the old days, PG never had language. It was just PG for kids. Well, there's I'm going to say it because, it's what the hell. That's like the worst word they say. Now, it's funny because they really love God. There's, oh God, oh my God, oh God, oh wow, God. I mean, they use God a lot. But I find that's cultural these days. I hear kids say, oh God, oh my God, all the time. It grieves me. But that's very cultural. So I'm not saying that's okay. I'm saying parents beware. That's in it. So if they're wanting to know if there's language, there's no bad characters. Kids don't need to be scared. There's no evil thing trying to get the kid. It really is a good-hearted story. Like I said, John Krasinski wrote and directed and starred in it. And so this is his project. So it ends on a very positive note. It ends on a happy note. There's some sweet, happy scenes of adults finding their imaginary character and how it comforts them and believing. And it's not so much them seeing it as them feeling confident, strong in themselves. They can do things. So that's really kind of the themes that run through it and what it's about. And there's another thing, Lou Gossett Jr., remember him?
Yes.
Lou Gossett Jr., he voices the old teddy bear. And the old teddy bear used to run the retirement home, and then he handed it off to Cal. And he is at an amusement park where Bea actually went with her parents and has drawings when she was a little kid of being there. And he talks to her and tells her, here's how you tap into imaginary friends. So he teaches her how to do it. Well, at the very end of the movie, they say, at the very end, after the credits, there's a loving tribute. They show the old bear, and they say, on memory and honor of Lou Gossett Jr., because this was the last movie that he made before he passed this last spring. So I just thought that was a sweet, loving tribute. Kids won't know what it means, but adults, if you stay to the very end, if your kids will do it and watch the credits, it's a sweet little tribute to him.
Awesome. So you recommend at least that it's okay if people can deal with this God thing and everything, that it's okay other than that, right?
That's the mild language that I refer to. Okay. The thing is, I don't think a 3 or 4 or 5-year-old will be as entertained because there's conversations and there's hospital things and there's things that they may not be picking up. So it's not just animated fun. It's not that. But it is enough where the characters are funny and interesting. There's one big character and she lets a little, what we say, fluffer. I say that she lets a little fluffer and she goes, oops, and then they, make a joke out of that. It's stuff like that. But there's funny lines, funny characters. The big purple monster is Steve. What's Steve? Oh, my mind is from Office.
Oh yeah, okay. I know who you're talking about.
My mind is what Mike and I know him. Anyway, he plays the character and he calls it Blue, and he's funny and friendly, and you see this big character in the hallways and stuff. Of course, no one can see him. So I really think about 6, 7, and 8 and up. I think they're going to enjoy it the most. Cool. And of course, adults.
All right. Well, we have we're pretty much run out of time on the show, Holly. It was a good, fun show. A lot of great information.
Good. I hope people go to see If and enjoy it, and I hope to see the Blue Angels and watch it at home and crank up the sound.
There you go. All right, folks. See you next week.
Write to us at faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Faith on Film TV. Also, go to our YouTube channel, Faith on Film TV, and hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications on our latest Faith on Film shows.